All right, it was a busy Tuesday, and one of the biggest things that came out of the meeting, the teleconferences with the coaches and players. Kirby Smart gave us an update on some of the guys that have been banged up this late part of the season and even hurt in the game. Here's what Kirby had to say when he was very specifically asked about Chaz Chambliss, Darnell, and Warren McClendon. He says, "We are hopeful to get all those guys back." He goes on to say about Lad McConkey. Lad looked good in warmups, and was able to go and play. We're hoping he's even better this week. So um, Georgia, I guess, is. Let me just say this real quick about Darnell. So Darnell was right next to me when the failed field goal attempt from Ohio State went wide left. How does that work? Is it the way you're kicking it that you describe it as? But it was left from my perspective, and Darnell's too. And he was in a boot. He had crutches. He was not using the crutches. Kirby has said to Marty Smith and Mark Schlabach, both ESPN guys, that the injury wasn't quite what they had feared. So I think there's a decent shot of Darnell playing in that game. If Darnell plays in the game, Darnell Washington matters in the run game a lot. Now, he matters, period, but he matters a lot in the run game. Warren McClendon, from what I've seen, did not play in the game. So you're talking about a multi-year starter, not playing in an extremely important game for the Dogs. Hey, look, make sure you're picking up our newsletter. The link is down below. A lot of people are signing up. It's free. If you need tickets to this game, I know there are some people that are using Ticket IQ. I've got a link for you right down below. It's very important that you check out Ticket IQ's inventory of tickets. Prices have fallen, and so take advantage of that now. And our friends at Ticket IQ are helping us out with all of this. So please take a look at that. One thing that Kirby talked about today was that, or excuse me, Tuesday, was that Lad McConkey felt better as time went on in December. So that's a good start to this final week. It didn't look like Lad was 100% to me and to a lot of other people, but he said that Arian Smith had a lot of things that he was doing because Lad couldn't go. Well, as it turns out, he had a tremendous, game-changing play. I mean, I don't know how many of the plays were game-changing in this Ohio State game, but um, it was certainly there was plenty to take in about um, what these guys, they just were exceptional. Now, the Kendra Miller, who is TCU's running back, um, there's some discussion there about what's going to happen coming in there. He is their leading rusher. He is important for TCU. Excuse me, TCU. This is what Sonny Dykes said. He said, I think he's feeling pretty good. He's got a pretty good chance. Excuse me, we got a pretty good evaluation on him the night before last when we got back from Phoenix. He was pretty sore. He woke up yesterday, felt a little better. I just saw him a little bit ago. He's feeling better today. So I would say he's probably questionable, would be the way I would present it. We'll see how he progresses through the week, see how he feels, and we'll try to make a determination as we get closer to the game time whether we think he's going to be ready to play or not. Look, and he's going to probably play, okay? You can see that from a lot of the reporting on the TCU side of things. The question is, how ready will he be to play? Miller has had a very good season for TCU. He's a very important part of what they do. Anytime you're going for almost 1,400 yards in a season as a running back, that's a lot. So he only went for 57 against Michigan, but there were some games here where he's just ripping off huge numbers. 142 against SMU, 136 against Oklahoma, which has a joke of a defense, but still 104 against Oklahoma State, 153 against Kansas State. Now that's the important one. I mean, K-State's a rough physical team. He went for 120 against West Virginia, 158 against Texas Tech, 138 against Texas. We know they have players. Those were all the games where he went for 100 yards or more. He's got a few receptions, but Kendra Miller from Mount Enterprise, Texas, is a guy that you really want to pay attention to as we get closer to Georgia's game with the Horned Frogs. It is hard. I will say this. It is hard to talk about TCU being in the national championship game. I mean, like it's not hard. It is you kind of have to catch yourself sometimes. I mean, isn't this quote supposed to be Michigan? Isn't this supposed to be Alabama? Is this supposed to be Ohio State? Hey man, they're yeah, I guess. And then they beat Michigan, and then they took advantage of their situation. I thought TCU should have been in. I said in the recent past that I wasn't so sure that they were the worst team in this thing. Well, it turns out they weren't. So there's some work to do for TCU. There's still some work to do for the Dogs too. Stetson's got to play within the system, play better. Um, I'm not going to discuss that a lot further. I don't want to go too far with some stuff I say sometimes, but I think if Georgia plays its game, it's going to win this game, and that involves Stetson playing quarterback, not hero ball. And Stetson is a really good quarterback. He is hit or miss at hero ball, and it's a kind of a rough criticism, I guess you say. But I mean, he if he plays in the system, man, guy is tough. Sometimes when he plays hero ball, he's really tough to deal with. And I don't know that he played hero ball in the fourth quarter. I think it was just that he was playing in the system, and it just turned out that he played really well. But getting Darnell back is probably the most critical situation of the guys. Chaz Chambliss got to get back out there too. I saw Chaz. I actually said hello to him after the game. I took a shot of him because he was bleeding right here, and I did not get the impression that Chaz Chambliss was in serious pain. But I'm not a physician, obviously, not a trainer. I don't know who's healthy and who's really not, but I can report on what I see, who I talk to, etc. Darnell was not hurt in a way that looked like it precluded him, excuse me, uh, from putting weight on his leg. I mean, he was literally running out to celebrate. That running is a relative word. He was moving out to celebrate um, Georgia's play there, and I think that it, it's not surprising that word is trickling out that Darnell might be ready to go for this thing. Again, our friends at Red Zone have been very important on all of this. They'll be ready if Georgia wins the national championship. They will be ready for that on Monday night, but really certainly Tuesday. So if you go over there, if you're watching in South Carolina, if you're in, I think it's Dillon, North Carolina is just north of Clayton. If you are in Atlanta, it is worth going to Red Zone for that. And you can celebrate in Athens on Tuesday if they win the national championship. But the key person here is Darnell. I mean, it's clear that lad's going to play. Um, Darnell is the person I think everyone should sort of be most concerned about because Darnell is the guy that is a game changing freak um, out there. The guy is special. He's just something else, y'all. And I just don't know uh, how this program. I mean, they can live without him for sure. They're going to live without him next year, but he makes a big difference. He makes a big difference in what Georgia would like to do offensively. At the end of the day, this line just kind of jumping around, holding on between 12 and a half and 13. It can't quite get knocked down past 12. But, darn, and sometimes bettors get information about injuries we don't get. But I don't know why that made me laugh, but um, I kind of expect Darnell to play. I expect Lab McConkey to play. Warren McClendon getting back out there would be a big win for the Dogs, but we'll see. We'll update you on injuries. Make sure you're signing up for the newsletters right down below. Thanks for watching.